Good evening, guys. It's nearly Christmas, 2024, and we've had a pretty good year. As we go into 2025, I thought it'd be nice to look over what I think are the top 5 things that happened to Celtic Legacy in 2024. So, number 5. Whatever. Number 5 for me is achieving a stable lineup. There's a part in Spinal Tap, those of you who will be familiar with that movie, which I'm sure a lot of you are, where David St. Hubbins is on camera talking to Marty de Burghi, and he's bemoaning the fact that the lineup keeps changing. And he says that there has been 37 people in Spinal Tap. We're not quite there, but you would think that over 25, 26, 27 years, that we're probably not far away. Now, you can measure it in a few different ways. You know, how many people have walked through the doors and out again? Well, yeah, there's certainly pushing 30 anyway. But the way that we tend to kind of measure lineups with this band now, just to kind of keep things sane, is that anyone who's actually recorded with the band will be, you know, counted on sort of past lineups and stuff like that. So there hasn't been as many in our mind anyway. But the year started off again with a lineup change, where we had to unfortunately say goodbye to Dave Quinn. He wasn't with us for that long, but he's a good guy. We all got on great, we had a bit of fun, but long term it wasn't going to work out, mainly due to work schedules clashing, and we sort of had a little chat with ourselves and we said, if we're going to, you know, make any progress, we probably need to make a change. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes, and that's the only reason that it happened. So John said, well, Fuzzy from old season, wouldn't mind a go with it. And we've been talking about Fuzzy last year because he was interested last year, but then something happened and he just couldn't commit to it. But a year had gone by and Fuzzy said that he wouldn't mind having another go at it. So we said, okay, well look, let's get him down. We'll give him a few songs to learn, we'll get him down. And he came in, and that very first session we thought, yeah, there we go. In fact, I think we probably needed 10 minutes to kind of make our mind up, and that was it. Lineup. So when I say stable lineup, I have used confident words before, and it hasn't quite worked out that way. But this lineup's been together now pretty much nearly for a year, and there's been no hint of trouble. I hope there won't be any hint of trouble, but it was a good year in that respect. So the 5 of us are still there. So number 5, stable lineup. I remain optimistic. Number 4 for me is going back into the recording studio for the first time since 2008, when we did the Guardian of Eternity album. That's a long time ago now, isn't it? That's 16 years ago. We've done 2 albums since then, but we had to use different methods, not having had a drummer. So this time we have a drummer, and a bloody good drummer. And we couldn't essentially say, well, we're going to do it the same way and, you know, we just like you to do gigs. That wasn't going to work out. So it was quite obvious when we went back in to do new stuff, we were going to need a proper recording studio. And we found a very good recording studio. I highly recommend it. It's called Bluebird. And the guy who runs it, Declan, is excellent. He knows his stuff, no nonsense, great guy to work with, and we came out of the studio with some great drum tracks. It was strange being back in the studio again, but it was actually very, very productive. We got 3 songs done, we've got more songs to do next year. But the only way to go was getting back into a recording studio. So that for me was a highlight. Number 3 is writing new material, recording new material and putting the new material into the live set. It's the first time we've added new material in since the band was going. The last time, I mean. And the first one of those was The Crow, which we instantly knew, well, that's got to be a single, but we got to get it into the live set first and break it in, which that was great to finally get this lineup to have its own material in the live set rather than playing older songs from previous lineups. I felt it was important to get new stuff in there, and Slim had been saying that was his priority, so it was great to get new stuff in. It's great to add it to the live set and start recording. It was great to have something from the Lie of the Land in there as well, because apart from myself, nobody else played on that album. From this lineup, I mean. And I was delighted to hear it coming together as well as it did. Then when we did The Crow, I was looking back at a video that was taken in Fibbers last week, where we played it for the first time since it was recorded. And it was very gratifying to hear it sounding pretty close to the recorded version. That's always a sign of everyone putting their identity onto the recording and then translating that to the stage. It was excellent to hear it sounding almost as good. So that's a benchmark. So we have 6 new songs in the set, if you count the Lie of the Land as one. And that's great for this lineup to start getting its own identity out there as Celtic Legacy. It's good for morale as well when you play current stuff written by the current band. So that was a huge achievement for me, and I was delighted with that. And the lads, I think, are very, very pleased with how things are going. Number 2. Number 2 for me is Taunus Metal Festival back in April. It's Fuzzy's first gig, and it's the first time I think John Fuzzy and Dave Shorten have actually played in Germany. It's quite a while since Slim and myself played in Germany with this band. So to actually get the reception that we did was mind-blowing. To me, it was the best gig the band has ever played. It was a 45-minute set. And we'd been watching the other bands all day, and some of them went down well, some of them didn't go down too well, some of them were sort of fairly, the audience reaction was fairly average. But the minute we walked on the stage, the place went mad. And it was unbelievable to walk out onto that stage and just get the reaction that we did. The crowd were on our side from the start. Saw a load of people walking around with Resurrection in their t-shirts. That was a bit surreal. You know, 20-year-old album, and people walking around with the t-shirt from the era. It's very, very strange, especially to see your face on something that's, 20 years old. A load of people walking up to us and saying how great it was to see us again. A load of people asking us questions about, what's happened to the band in the meantime, and it's great to see you back, and, it was wonderful. And as per usual, every time we go to Germany, we're treated like family. And that's probably because the people over there we do consider to be family. They know who they are. And always a pleasure to go over there. But we actually made it easy for them, because this lineup of the band just wanted to have a bit of fun and just play and do our thing. but the reaction we got, unbelievable. I've seen a couple of videos afterwards, kind of video reviews, where we got sort of lauded as, you know, the band of the festival. Well, that's not for us to say, but if we made that impression on people, delighted. Yeah, that's a highlight, very, very definite highlight. So, Townless Metal Festival, we'll see you again. And the number one thing on the list for me, which some people might find very, very strange, because it's not an achievement as such. Number one achievement for me is that we had fun. We had great time being in this band in 2024. And given some of the sort of tumultuous times that we've had in the past, it is so nice to go into a rehearsal room again. There were times where I dreaded it, I hated it. I didn't want to go into a rehearsal room because there was always a problem, there was always drama, there was always something going on. Somebody didn't learn the song, somebody didn't turn up, somebody didn't have the money to pay for it. There was always something. We haven't had that at all this year with these guys. And when we do go in, we get the work done, but it seems to come secondary to actually having enormous amounts of banter and crack and slagging and just ribbing each other. I said ribbing, Dave. So that long may continue, even doing the gigs. It's great fun. And gigs can be stressful as well, and the lead up to them and everything else. There hasn't been a harsh word said by anyone to anyone. There hasn't been any arguments. There hasn't been any major disagreements. You know, we'll have our debates on musical arrangements and things like that, and we'll work them out. But what the big difference is between this lineup and Celtic Legacy of yore is that we're really, really enjoying it. And although that might not sound like a major achievement, it is to me, because if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. And I was very hesitant to get back into this band and go through that whole, you know, rigmarole all over again. But I'm glad I did, because it's been a joy to play with these guys in a band. It really has. And I look forward to next year, and hopefully the year after that. Remember, number 5, stable lineup. So I'm really looking forward to 2025, hopefully making some progress with the band, and no matter what happens, we'll enjoy what we're doing. So that's my list. No, it's not a huge list. It's not. There's no major achievements that you might think of earth-shattering proportions there. No, but that's my honest feelings about what Legacy has been in 2024. 2025, this time 12 months, I hope to come back with some more tangible things, some more achievements, some more success. We'll see how it goes. New album, at least 2 new singles coming out next year, and who knows what'll happen. But again, we're going to have fun doing it. So on behalf of all the guys, 3 days and the 2 non-days, I'd just like to wish everybody very happy Christmas and all the best for 2025, and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks, guys.